What was that? Anyone who does that. My sister's voice snapped me back to the present and away from my reverie, or whatever the fuck that says, as I crumbled up the paper and hid it behind my desk. Can you help me with my hair? Eyeing me warily, she slowly made her way beside me and started redoing my tangled ponytail. It means she doesn't believe you. Stop trying to cover it up. Are you hiding something from me? Yeah, exactly. She's not completely fucking stupid. What makes you think I'm hiding something? Are you hiding something from me? Oh, God. That is definitely the best answer you could possibly have given. Looking up in my mirror, I saw my sister's face flush a deep shade of red as she started stammering. Oh. Well, I was pretty much wrong with that assumption. That I'll get fuck all. What? No? What are you talking about? I didn't really think my bluff would actually work on her. I guess little sisters can have secrets of their own. There is spelled wrong. Though I didn't really care that they would... This was a good way to shut her up. I suppose it's a good way. If she's been shagging all the guys around the thing, like Damien and Edivine, I will be disgusted. And then slightly proud. Giving her a wink and placing my finger over my lips, I shushed her. Nodding her head earnestly, she turned her focus towards my hair. You'll tell me later though, right? I always do. After that, we continued chattering on about silly things while getting ready. I'm sure if Alakwa wasn't around, I'd have been extremely lonely and probably would have given in to my mother's pressure to settle down and marry for more money. Wow. Mother's quite pushy by the sounds of it. Well, I think we already knew that, but anyway. Everyone seemed to be more lively than usual today. Maybe it was because tomorrow's meet and greet was going to be cancelled. So cancel has two L's. To make way for the Queen's social bill! And ball as well. Bill would be quite a bit of a letdown, truth be told. The ball was open to all of these who were able to find a fancy ball gown to wear. I already had business that I needed to take care of on that day, so Alakwa was going to handle my clothing arrangements. She really is a lifesaver. I'd just rather not go. Leaning my back against one of the trees, I watched the crowd quietly. I could already see a lot of couples forming in the crowd. Some proudly hung their arms over one shoulder, while others might have had both arms wrapped around someone else's waist. It means they were dancing. That old bit's getting a little bit too, open in there. Why am I even here? As I continued to scan the crowd, I could feel someone's gaze prickling the back of my neck. Looking back, I saw exactly who it was. Be divine, be divine, be divine. Bollocks! Damien was standing some distance away, surrounded by another entourage that was laughing heartily and talking. Throwing me a smug look, he draped one arm over a girl's shoulder. For some strange reason, I couldn't help but get really annoyed by his utter lack of understanding of personal space and how easy it was for him to flirt people like that. Right, okay. Couple of things, okay, sure, okay? Understanding of people's personal space. That doesn't exist if they want you to hug them. It doesn't work that way. It's not invading your personal space if he's looking at you from afar. That's not how space works. Turning my head back away as if I never saw him, I continued to scan the crowd, hoping to find a friendly face to talk to. Then the familiar smell of cinnamon and spice and everything nice filled my nose again. I hated how much I'd started to like that scent. Cinnamon, spice, and everything nice. Wow. Isn't that a, not Hufflepuff, Sugar Puff? No! Bubblegum. You know what? Some kid shows in which 3 Powerpuff. We got there in the fucking end. Cinnamon, spice, and everything nice. It was something like that. Look, I watched Cartoon Network when I was a kid, okay? Are you really going to ignore me? Yep. For a player like him... Player is now a pronoun. She sure is on his mind a lot, huh? Don't get cocky. Messing with you is just a fun pastime for when I start to get bored. I rolled my eyes and crossed my arms and tried to go back to ignoring him, but once again, comma and conjugation, but once again, not getting the hint, he shoved his hands in his pockets and leaned against the tree. Our shoulders were lightly touching. You know I still haven't let you off the hook just yet. Why not? You seem to be doing a good job picking up one girl after the other. Why be upset over one that got away? You're the reason why she left, so you're going to have to pay me back for that. Alright, come on. Do you want me to get on my knees now or later? That would be a depressing end to this story. Feeling more irked than usual, I let out an annoyed sigh and took a step back away from him. Look, I apologize, okay? I have something really important that I need to be focusing on and would appreciate it if you would just leave me alone now. Looking up at me, his interest now sparked even more because of my sudden outburst. He shook his head no. He shook his head no. I'm doing you a favour by hanging out with you. Please believe me when I say you're not doing anyone any favours. I don't want, nor do I need, your attention. Wow. Cold. What are you waiting on your Prince Charming to show up and sweep you off your feet or something? Tensing up by his sudden sharp observation, I tightened my fist at my side. Well, we can make it so he never's able to have children. That's just a thought. In fact, I'd be strongly pulled towards such a thought. Whatever. How did you... His full lips began to form a smirk as he watched me closely. A glint of amusement danced in his eyes. Don't tell me. The big bad troll is actually a secret romantic and wants a fairy tale love story. You're in a game called A Troll's Fairy Tale. I mean, quite why this is a surprise to you, and quite more to the point, why it took you an hour and a half to find out is beyond me. Alright, whatever. Shut up and mind your own business. Whirling around, I stormed away from the crowd and back towards the woods. He was the last person I wanted to find out about a deep secret like that. Hey! Finally turning my strides into sprints, I tried to flee from the embarrassment that I didn't want to face. I was already getting enough backlash from my mother thinking my dream was stupid. She does a point. I don't need an actual guy to come up and say the same thing to my face as well. Again, he has a point. You're just going to have to settle for someone like Edivine. Hey, stop! You know what? The weird thing is... Hang on. Damien! It clearly says it there, yet they constantly get his name wrong. It just baffles me. You'd think, oh, you know, different writer maybe, it would just happen a few more times for a little bit, but no, it's just constantly keeps happening. Alright. Damien was still the unicorn princess, so his speed and stamina was a lot higher than mine, but I couldn't just stand around there and let him continue to insult me like an idiot. Glancing over my shoulder, Damien was sprinting towards me. If you seriously think I'm going to stop so you can make fun of me some more, you're both an idiot and a moron. I mean, it's you are, so again, you apostrophe, but, you know, these are things you've got to let slide. It's the Damien which is really annoying me. I was breathing heavily as I zigzagged my way through the trees. Why not just run in a straight line? And jumped over tree roots that poked up from the ground. My hair finally came loose with the ponytail that my sister tied it in and was flying freely in the wind. I said stop! He just bumped into something. We're not near each other yet, whatever. I could hear his footsteps behind me getting closer and closer. I wasn't in the mood to hear someone else tell me my dream was stupid. Why couldn't I wish and dream for all that I wanted to? A warm, strong arm wrapped around my waist in a matter of seconds and lifted me off the ground effortlessly. Thrashing around, I shrieked as loud as I could, trying to get loose. No one has ever picked me up like this before, and I was completely shocked that he was able to. Put me down! They still haven't said who it is yet. So it might be Edivine. You never know how these weird things work. My chest was heaving heavily as I tried to catch my breath. Bollocks is him. Oh well, we can dream. Will you calm down? Man, what is your problem? He didn't sound out of breath at all. That's what I get for being stupid enough for thinking I could outrun a unicorn. Look, me and the rider are going to have to sit down and discuss what's a unicorn and what isn't a unicorn. Setting me down, he turned me around to face him while I continued to thrash around. Could you please relax already? Frowning, he held my arms and held my gaze with his eyes. What's wrong with you? You act like I'm going to kill you or something. No, I'm running away so I don't have to kill you. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't want to admit the fact that I was overreacting. But if you have a secret that you want to keep, you will do anything to make sure it stays a secret. Or unless you're me, where you just don't care. Letting out a sigh, he shook his head as I continued to stand there upset while my heart continued to pound in my chest. Look, I'm not going to hurt you. I was just teasing you. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. I don't go telling people secrets like Nor. Like Nor. I think that was meant like nothing. Really? Crossing an X over his heart, he held one hand in the air. I promise. God. Alright, well that is behaviour that you would see becoming of a guy who goes around parading calling himself a unicorn. I just wanted to tease you. I didn't think you would flip out and start screaming and running like a mad woman. That's shaking his hand off my arm. Off my arm. I took a step back. My hair was a complete mess. My hair was a complete mess. Now a complete mess. I just have to keep going back to read things to make sure it actually says that. It hung wildly over my shoulders and a few strands stuck to the side of my cheek and forehead from my sweat. Come on, let's get back to the party. No thanks, I'm going home. Turning around, I sprinted my way back home. I was already embarrassed enough as this was, and I wanted to get as far away from him as I possibly could. After avoiding the bombardment of questions from my mother about why I was home early, I went straight to my room and passed out in my bed. Still, you think they sleep on, like, spikes, trolls? Or underneath a bridge? Not in beds, that seems a little bit too comfy. All of my pent-up stress and frustration was let out all at once while I'd run like a crazy woman back home. I was just so tired of the constant questions and judgmental looks. Was it really such a bad thing to want to have a perfect someone? Was it so unheard of to stick to the standards that you've lived by your own self? Yes. You've got to admit that when you're not a good-looking troll of all things, Prince Charming isn't probably gonna sweep you off your feet. The best you're gonna get is a kick around the ankle. Unless he happens to have a broom around him, that's not being swept off your feet, unfortunately. Wasn't there anyone else out there that felt the same way as I? That did not think I was crazy or wouldn't tell anyone to just give it up and settle. I just don't know anymore. I just want to sleep. I wasn't sure how long I slept, but the whole world is now fucking blue, so that would presume quite a while. The moon's fallen down on us, but when I looked out of my window, I saw the moon still hanging high in the sky. I poked my head out of the bedroom door, and I saw the hallway and living room was silent and dark. I guess everyone's already in bed. Already? Your room's fucking blue because the moon's too light. Probably thousands of years have passed. Now the cryogenics have been presented, and I've just been frozen. Opening up my window, I let the cool night air gently flow in. I'm wide awake now. Staring up at the moon, I let my thoughts wander. I hope I'm in pyjamas. I started to think about what Damien had said. I didn't expect him to be so understanding. Maybe he wasn't such a bad guy. No, he is. After all, a player, yes, but a total jerk? Maybe not. All the way. No, he's a dick. I decided this a long time ago. He's on my smiting book. So is Acacia, for that matter. I think I need to go for a walk. Slipping my princess slippers that I had hidden away under my bed and putting my favourite shawl to cover up my bare shoulders, I quietly tiptoed out of the house and made my way around my mother's cleaned-up flower bed. Wow, you've got to love the music which is going on in the background. How could anyone not enjoy that? Alright. I wasn't sure how it was cleaned up, but I'm glad that it was taken care of. Taking in a deep breath, I let the cool breeze brush against my skin as I made my way down from the forest. Or to the forest, even. It must have been really late now because none of the other cottages or cabins were showing any sign of light faintly glowing from their lamps. The light of the full moon shined brightly through the skies. Its cool glow peeked through the branches of the trees. If this was a fairy tale, this would be the perfect spot for Prince Charming to arrive. Chuckling to myself at that silly thought, I continued to make my way down that point. The pond that lay in the middle of the forest, my sanctuary. Maybe I should start hiding my diary here. If my mum finds it and reads it again, I'm sure she'll rip it to shreds. Wow. Alright, considering nothing's gonna happen, we've got a case for inappropriate music in a scene again. This seems to be happening quite a lot in visual novels. It's quite odd.